Throughout September and October 2025, I made a pile of my most played albums. If you promise to be good, I'll show you said pile. Welcome to my candlelight beaming goth, darkwave and post-punk straight into your brain. You know when you shuddered just then? That was me. So near the start of September 2025, I started making piles of my most played albums. I just said piles. So I stream a load of music, and I stream so much that I think I'm in need of my own personal stream with a Ford. But I do own loads of physical copies of albums too. Anyone who owns tangible media will understand the benefits and the joy of just selecting something off a shelf. They could be new albums that haven't been properly played yet, or old albums that just need a bit of a rediscovery. I started doing this, and then I applied the rule of, if that album, once played all the way through, still stays with me over the next few days, it goes on the pile. So you know what? I thought I'd share my pile. So let's dive in. I don't even need to introduce this one, do I? I do love First and Last, but this is the one that landed with me first. Many of you have commented about how the first album you hear from an artist is generally your favourite moving forward. That first impression can be very powerful. It can remind you of a certain location or who you might have been with at the time, or it might have just been that initial wow factor from hearing the artist for the first time. Aside from all of that, the reason why this one is my most played at the moment is because of this. It's a Mobile Fidelity SoundLab version of this album. I'm not usually into buying, I suppose, audiophile releases, but the sound of this one has easily overtaken all of the other versions of this I've ever owned. This Corrosion's choir sounds more expansive. The bass on Lucretia hits you in the chest, and the lashing drums on Flood 1 lash you silly. So the sound quality of this particular release has just instigated a rediscovery of it. I've owned this particular version for a while now, but it's only recently that I've actually played it all the way through, because I'd normally just stream Floodland. And it's really great to hear it pressed with so much care. It does say special limited edition. This one's 10,554. That's quite a large number. How limited is this? Limited to 1 million? I don't think there's anything special about this particular. No, just comes in a sleeve. Wasn't particularly cheap. I think it was about £35. But if you love this album and you want a really, really good sounding copy, I recommend this version. At time of filming, it is still available, so if you look around, you're sure to find one. Next, The Sky's Gone Out, Bauhaus. This came right off the back of the ranking vid that I made. When you do a vid that delves into a band and their albums, you do have to lodge yourself in the crevice of re-evaluation. That process can rekindle a love for a particular album, and that's exactly what happened in this case. So yeah, their third album from 1982 hits you with Third Uncle right from the start, and then it's straight into Silent Hedges. It's like being whacked in the face by a fish, like a tirade of tench. So you get a bunch of atmospheric ones with Three Shadows 1 and 2, and also All We Ever Wanted Was Everything. It's just a great, fully rounded and fully formed album with lots of variety, but still with that sense of experimentation. Don't think there's anything amazing about this. No, you just get a paper inner. Beggar's Banquet on the label. Next, I've got Chasing Eva by Maplebee. Take a boat trip over to goth adjacency island and you might be greeted by this one. It'll be stroking the cats near the ice cream cellar. So Melanie Garside, formerly of the Medieval Babes and Queen Adrena, and sister of Katie Jane, vocalist from Daisy Chainsaw, crafted this purring, cozy little album back in the mid-noughties. Its scope is immense, and it goes from the cat-like opener of Bell Song to an almost Parisian-styled cover of Perhaps, 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 through to the Wicker Man-esque Sun on Snow. Each track paints a different picture, and it's amazing that it can hold this level of quality over 20 tracks, perfect for September through to December. It's no wonder that this made it into the pile. Stoke the fire, stroke the cat, and let this lead you into enchanted spaces. Bigelectriccat, Eyelash. Sometimes it's the more random choices that throw up an old and brilliant album. Although this Australian band are apparently still together, this was their last released album, which came out in 1997. This wonderful 90s goth album is fantastic to revisit. Complete with the old school convention of a named drum machine, this one is just loaded with atmosphere. Paul Sadler's voice is dynamic and it's fully rounded, and it just knits everything together. We go from the meandering My Last Breath to the more direct Splinters. Secret Desire is hugely cozy, and Hallucinations is uneasy. The only track I would have missed off is Crash. It sounds like the band had been playing some KMFDM in their tea break and decided that yes, that's the sound that's missing from the album. Bar that one, this is a near perfect album for me, and it's great to be embedded in that classic 90s goth sound. Next, Fade to Glitter by bloodydeadandsexy. This one came out in 2022, but I just didn't get the chance to play it in its entirety. It was just one of those albums that arrived and it just got relegated to the shelf for no apparent reason. And that's the beauty about being able to scan physical albums. You just notice the ones that have not had a fair hearing. Sounds like they're in court. I love bloodydeadandsexy, and for me, their track Some of This was the one ring to rule them all until I heard Their House from this. What a freaking track. Okay, so Bloody Dead do wear their Roz era Christian death influences very visibly on their sleeve, but check out the more epic and immersive 2020 or Black Autumn Song. Basically, there's enough slower paced stuff here to counterbalance the Romeo's distress-like speed of the rest. So just looking at this is number 45 of just 199. I've not noticed that before. Let's have a little look at the vinyl. Printed lyric sheets and some nice art. Nice coloured vinyl. A great album, and I definitely recommend checking out all their other stuff. Lastly, chelseawolfe, Birth of Violence. Love everything that Chelsea does, but this one, at this time of year, is perfect. She did say that she wanted to return to her folk roots, and this is the darkest of folk. It's wayward, cosy, beautiful and dark, and it will gently summon the devil for you while you wait. Convenient. Ideally listened to in a secluded cottage in the middle of a forest with your familiar guarding the door. This is out in the wilderness stuff, and it flows beautifully. Just listen to those sliding strings in opener The Mother Road, or those siren-like wails at the beginning of When Anger Turns to Honey. This album will gather you up in its arms quicker than you can say Human Sacrifice. I even love the last track, The Storm, which is basically a storm. Just highly recommend this album. Don't think there's anything special about the actual vinyl. Oh, we do have a booklet. So those are my most played albums at the moment. Have you got any particular albums that you're playing to death at the moment? Or do you have any autumnal or wintry albums that you always come back to at this time of year? Let me know in the usual place. Until next time, see you later.